Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Megan.
And we are Henson Co. And today we're going to make a video answering some of our most commonly asked questions about the journey that we are going to take over the next several months.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we're really honored that you guys have chosen to follow along with us. It means a lot that you all care, that you're watching this video. So first of all, just thank you.
It really does. Thanks so much for
the outpouring of love that we've experienced so far.
Thanks so much for tuning in. It really means a lot to us that you would even spend time watching. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So,
we are sitting outside. There may be background noise. We've tried to eliminate what we can, but
yeah, I think every neighbor we have decided to mow the yard this morning
today.
Anyway.
In January, we upgraded our pop-up to a 30-foot travel trailer. It's not an actual RV where you sit in and ride, but we upgraded our pop-up camper to a 30-foot travel trailer and a truck, Chevy truck. So we're heading across the U.S. with our 3 kids. We have Hannah, who's 10, Liam, who is 5, and Nora, who's 7, and we're gonna hit the road.
That's right. So let's start with the first question. Whenever we tell people we're going to do this, the first question they ask is, what are you doing with the house? Well, that's a pretty simple answer, and
we're selling it.
We're selling it.
It's set to close at the end of August, and
at the end of this month.
This month.
Yep, this month. Because you might not be watching this in August, but at the end of the month that we're in, when we're recording this video, we're closing on the house. Yep. That's right.
So we put it up on the market. We had several people come see it, and after 2 weeks, we had an offer that we felt comfortable with, that we liked, and we're going to sell it. Take that money, put it in the bank.
Yep. And we weighed out, by the way. We didn't just decide straight out of the gate, we'll sell it. We weighed all kinds of different options: renting, Airbnb, doing long-term rental situations with traveling nurses, and there's all kinds of opportunities available to people if they choose to do that.
Right.
For us, we felt like the market where we are, it was a great time to sell, and we were had thought about that and entertained those thoughts at some point. So we decided, let's go ahead and sell, and then whenever we come back, we'll buy a house. So that's our plan. We're selling the house. What is your timeline?
So our timeline to leave is we are set to leave at the end of August.
Yeah. Now, this was harder to answer previously before we sold the house, because people would be like, what's your timeline? And we're like, well, in the next couple months, as soon as we can get the house on the market, whatever.
We can get the house to sell.
And then we went through all of that work, that painful work, to get the house on the market. And now we have, now that we've accepted an offer and we're under contract.
As long as all goes clear with that, everything goes well, and inspection and appraisal and all that stuff. As long as everything goes through, we will hit the road at the end of August.
Yep.
Now that seems kind of quick for some people who might just be joining us, who just heard about this, but it's been the last year that we have been planning this and working towards this. We've taken several steps along this last year. It's been a little over a year now.
Making progress toward this.
Yeah.
I mean, in transitioning from a pop-up to a travel trailer, that alone was we had to get a truck, and then once we had our truck, we had to get the trailer and all that stuff. So,
and how long we're going to be gone? He says a year. I say an extended period of time. We want to go and see as many places as we can, as long as we're all enjoying it and it's working out. But if we're out there for 4 months and we absolutely are not enjoying ourselves and we feel like it's not the right thing to do, then we're going to come back and settle down. Yep. So we're going for an extended period of time. Could be a year, could be 6 months, could be 4 months.
Could be
as long as we're enjoying it and we feel like it's worth it, we're going to keep going.
Yeah. So that's it. That's kind of our timeline. Now, another question I get asked commonly is, what am I going to do about mail? What about, how are you going to get, I have a business and stuff like that. What are we going to do about that? So the answer to that question is there's a company called Traveling Mailbox, and basically what they do is you have an address, and then whenever your mail goes in there, you get an email, and you can open it, you can scan it and see what the mail is. That's what we're going to do for mail. If you get a parcel or a package you need, then you can have the Traveling Mailbox forward it to another address that you'll be.
And so he can put a link down bebelow of what we're
using. There's other companies.
Yeah,
we're not affiliates or anything, but
we're just using it.
So anyway, that's a minor detail. How do your kids feel about it? This is a question that we get a lot. Immediately after people find out that we're going to sell the house, they're like, well, how do your kids feel about this trip? Well, we just made the decision. We're going to go. We don't care how they feel.
We don't care.
That's not true.
Not true. This is not an easy or simple answer. They feel like we do. They're very excited about it. They can't wait to explore all these cool places that we've talked about. And Hannah has a National Geographic almanac about national parks. She's like seeing all these cool places, and I mean, we're all excited. We're all super excited to explore, to go do some fun things. They love going in the trailer with us. But
that's been a process.
That's been a process. It's been a process for all of us because we actually love where we're from. We love our community. We've loved our house. Like, we've loved our life here. So we're not leaving here because we don't like our life. So that's a hard thing to let go of and say goodbye to. And we've had to kind of walk through that all together, grieving the loss of what we have right now to go explore and do something great. Has been a process for all of us.
Yep.
And
it's been interesting because they wear their heart on their sleeve. So what they're doing is like they'll have one moment where they're like really excited, another moment where they're really sad, and we have that too. But we just
it's more inside our
you have
head.
to kind of stay the course.
Yeah.
And so we might wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, what are we doing? This is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we're able to experience it with them, and like anything, any transition, any loss of a family member, moving, selling a house, like all of that stuff is like they're significant transitions. Whenever we brought Liam home with the girls, like that's a transition. This is the new normal and stuff like that. But it's also like this is something that we really feel like is going to be good for our family, I'm glad we've been walking through the process with them. I feel like it's really it's been good to teach them how to say goodbye to things and how to deal with emotions, because we all have them, right? Like we're scared. Hannah's like, my oldest, I've never not had a home to come home to, and I'm like, me either. So there's been a lot of things that we've gotten to work through with them, which I think has been some really given us some really great opportunities for parenting. Definitely.
Been good.
So they're really excited about it. That's definitely true. Liam said this morning, he said, you know how excited I am about going camping for a year is what they say. I'm this excited. Yeah. So and I think that it'll be fun. There'll be times when we'll miss home. There'll be times when we get homesick, but we'll be together. So how can you afford it? Usually they'll say, so what are you going to do? How are you going to pay for this? Are you going to be working or whatever? So there's a couple factors to that. Number one, the reason we can afford this is because we're selling the house. If you think of how much you spend in your mortgage or rent, and plus utilities, plus any other thing that you are spending on a monthly basis for a house, and that is now freed up. So that's a bunch of cash flow.
We aren't taking any of the money from our sale. We have decided to just put that money aside for when we come home.
Yeah.
But we don't have the monthly expenses that come with owning a house. Right. We don't have
we're not selling our house and then going to use that to fund it. We're selling our house and we're going to use what we were putting toward our house every month to basically fund the next year or whatever. We're going to take all of the equity that we got from selling the house, put that in the bank, and then we'll buy a house whenever we come back. So we're just pausing on a mortgage.
So part one is like we're taking our normal expenses and we're just removing them from owning a house and putting them into traveling.
Yep.
The second part is that Joseph and I own a company that he can work from anywhere.
Yep. So we own our own business. So it's an online marketing business. So
if you have internet and cell phone service,
as long as I can do my job, then I can do my job from wherever. And over the last 6 months or so, we've been trying to practice that a lot.
And that means that people ask, like, are you just going to be on an extended vacation? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
He will have to work his normal schedule, and the kids and I will do our thing, and then after he's off work, we'll go and explore, and we have to set up our schedule according to that. We need to stay in a place long enough for him to do his job. If his job doesn't work, then we can't do it. So we've practiced that. We've been working that out, working out the kinks in that, and he has to work each day. Our trailer, we bought a specific trailer model that has an area where he can work in the back. And it's a space for him to go and close the door off and do his thing. So he will do his normal work while we're on the road, and we will work around that.
Yep, and that's it. Another thing too, when it comes to like finances, is that the further you go, the more expensive. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do whenever you're on the road. So you can kind of control your overnight stays and how much they cost, though you're pretty much subject to like the area that you're in. Unless you want to like boondock, which means camping like in a parking lot or something like that, or like staying in a parking lot. But taking shorter trips is a lot cheaper. So that's one of the reasons why also we're selling the house, because like if if we are making shorter moves, then we don't spend as much on fuel, and we can like move like somewhere and then keep going, and then our overall nightly rate goes down.
Yeah, so we've worked that out too. We kind of have an idea of what we are okay with spending on like campgrounds and stuff like that. So we have to stay in places that work within that. The ranges in nightly costs are different. So we know our gas budget, our nightly rate budget, stuff like that.
And we'll know more and more about this as we go, because right now we're just doing some projections and whatnot. We'll have some real numbers whenever we
after we're out for a while.
So. So the next question that we get as soon as people find out that we're going to do this is, where are you going? They go, wait, well, where are you going? What are some places that you're looking forward to seeing?
Short answer is anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
I mean, that's not very helpful though, but anywhere in the lower 48 states. We want to go to national parks, beautiful places, cool places, interesting places, and we may go to Canada and Mexico eventually, but right now, anywhere that we can.
The country's huge. I mean, like, United States is massive. Every state is massive. So there's tons of stuff to see.
Our national park system is insanely awesome.
And mostly, I mean, westerly, because we live on the East Coast, and none of those trips are super, super far for us. I mean, like, going to the tip of Maine would be, but like, and the tip of Florida. But going west takes a lot of time. So once we get out there, we'll be able to explore that area, and just going to see stuff that we've always wanted to see and haven't seen.
The cool thing is, once you get to any area and you start researching it, there's cool stuff everywhere.
There's so much to see everywhere.
That's the thing. We've tried to give ourselves some flexibility and not have like we have to be here all the time at this date. There's obviously
now there are some points that we are definitely going to hit. Like, you're going to run a half marathon or a couple of half marathons, and so those are dates that are going to be like kind of big items where we're going there. So we're not just going to be kind of wandering. Another factor that will change where we go is the weather. So whenever it gets really cold, and it's like 20 degrees, we're going to, well, and also at night, whenever it gets below freezing at night, that's going to be a factor too. So
we'll be pushed by the weather and by some just a few things, but other than that,
we're definitely going to chase the sun some.
I like the sun.
So anyway, so that's where we're going. So why sell the house and go full time? Why not just take shorter trips? So
I think shorter trips are great, and we've done that a lot this last year. But they're also really hard for me as the one who kind of organizes everything, organizes our stuff, like getting the groceries and getting all our stuff ready. Having our life here in a house, and having our life in the camper for extended trips is to me kind of just harder because of the prep work that goes into the front end and the back end. Coming home and unpacking it all is just a lot of work, and we've seen that when we're in the camper and we're all set up there to go, it's just easier because I take all of the laundry we have, I take it to the laundromat or take it to the wash, I bring it back and it's set. I know how many towels are in there, I know what clothes we have, I know what's there. Shorter trips are definitely doable, so if that's what you can do and you are looking into doing this, then do it.
If we weren't going full time, that would be what we do.
It's more expensive to go shorter because you have to keep a house up too.
Because remember that whole thing too about mileage. So if you travel 1,000 miles and our truck gets 10 miles to the gallon, and then so you can do the math on that 10 miles to the gallon. We get about 200 miles before we have to stop and get gas. Every time we fill up, it's like $60. That can get expensive, but for the most part, it's just that we live on the East Coast, and right now we can kind of see stuff within like a 6-hour radius of us. And what we're essentially doing by traveling full time is our radius will be based on the location of our travel trailer, not based on the location of our home. Mm-hmm. So we're just extending our radius to travel every time we stop. That will be our mobile spot where this is home. This is where we're gonna work in the day, and at night, we'll go and see the sights, or in the evening or on the weekends or whatever.
I think one thing that we both really liked about the actual going like full time to do this is that some of the elements that we were forced to do to go full time, which was to simplify our life, to get rid of a lot of stuff, to downsize. There are a lot of really amazing things that we've experienced in letting go of stuff in this last year, and we kind of wanted to take that leap and do that all the way. And if you're taking the shorter trips, you can keep a lot more of your stuff, which is kind of nice if that's your goal. But for us, we kind of wanted to downsize and simplify our life so that we could just go out there and enjoy.
Yep. why would you want to do this?
So some of that I just kind of was talking. It's kind of a good segue, but there's a lot of reasons. This is, again, not a really simple answer, but I think after we started to learn about this, we did the month-long pop-up trip a year ago, a little over a year ago, and some of the things we really we experienced there were a simplified life, less stuff, and more time to enjoy our kids and each other. Even though he was still working with that too, we just had more time because we weren't constantly managing our stuff. When you live in a smaller space, you have less stuff to manage. And for me, as the one who keeps up the house and the homemaking side of things, it was just simplified. And I really, really liked that. I was amazed at how much freer I was to actually just enjoy the kids and enjoy him and enjoy our life.
And me too. You know, like we had this. I had some pretty significant like repairs on the exterior of our house before we sold it, and that consumed like 3 months of my life. Just not working on it every single day, but just being there, just it being undone, and me feeling like a bad homeowner and stuff.
Right.
Just that kind of stuff is really kind of overwhelming, and it creates a bunch of open loops in your mind, and so that stuff it's running in the background even if you don't know it.
Yeah.
And
we
so,
know that like going on the road doesn't eliminate that kind of like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we just recognize that it simplifies some of it for a season, and
that's one factor.
That's one
not
factor.
the whole reason. So
The
a couple other things are
Yeah.
like whenever we got to this, is we said. We asked the question, why not? Why won't we do this? Well, we're not going to do it because we don't want to sell the house,
or we're scared. I'm scared.
Or we're scared.
I don't know.
We're
what
afraid.
I'm
We're afraid of what's going to happen. You know, and so as we started to kind of sift through our fears, we realized like this is good. We should do this.
Right.
The reasons that we wouldn't do it are like there's not enough good reasons not to do it. Then there are reasons. To do it. And so
and I think the bigger thing was we were surprised when we realized we could do it.
Right.
We were like, what is stopping us?
Yeah.
You can work from the road. I'm already at home with the kids.
Well, and also
we're like
we like
can
each other.
do this. Yeah.
You know,
we do like
I mean, the kind of the most common things of like why you wouldn't take a trip like this is because you don't want to be in the car with the kids and you don't want to be in close quarters with your family. Well,
we've
we
already
like
set
both
up
of
a
those
togetherness
things.
model.
So yeah, like I mean, our whole thing is like we try to make this our thing, right? Like we play road games in the car, and we try to have like we have music we like to listen to, and that's kind of part of our identity is that that's us, and so that's a thing. So the other thing too is that so Jim Collins has a book called Good to Great, and in the book he says. We don't have great schools because we have good schools. We don't have great government because we have good government. And when you apply that to our life, I don't want to have a good relationship with my kids. I want to have a great relationship with my kids. And this, what we have here, this is good. It may even be great. Like, I mean, what we have is amazing. Like we are so blessed to be able to have the community that we have, to the home that we have, the city that we live in, the community is so great, and our church family is just wonderful people. We love those people, but we also recognize that like this is a short period of time in the grand scheme of things that we can make memories together that are going to last forever. And we had some things kind of happen in our we're at the age now where friends of ours are getting sick, terminally ill, losing loved ones, and my aunt, she went to the doctor with some pain and was diagnosed with cancer, and 11 months later she died. It happened so fast.
In her 50s, you know.
She was 57, 56. Anyway, she was young, okay? And that was kind of jarring just to realize how fast things can change, right? And
you start asking questions to yourself of like, you know, if I were to find that out myself, how would I wish I would have spent my time? And how has the last year of my life looked like what I would want it to if I didn't have a lot of time left? And so we started asking those questions, and we started thinking like we want to live our life on purpose. You know, there's also the thing of like each kid has 18 summers with you before they leave home, and Hannah's already 10 into those, and Nora's 7, and Liam's 5, and so it's like when we start really thinking about that, we thought I don't think I will ever look back and regret that
That's
I
right.
took this time to intentionally invest in our kids
It's
and our family and our life.
It's unlikely that we are going to look back and say, I wish I hadn't taken that time when I did. And so we're doing this there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of reasons why. There are few reasons why not, and those reasons had to do with
Being afraid.
being afraid. The other reason why is that we can. So that's our situation. I mean, that's why, is that we can, we want to, we think it's going to be good for our family.
Right.
And
we want to,
and
like
we
we
wanna be
always say, we
adventurous.
want to live our lives on purpose. And for us, this is our effort at being purposeful with our time, taking advantage of the freedom that we have right now in that, and using it to get where we want to be with our family.
We're taking home on the road, right? We're taking home on the road, and we know that we can do that. We know that we can see this beautiful country.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of home on the road, another question we get asked often is, why an RV? So why not just stay in hotels or Airbnbs? Because some people are like, have you thought about that? And the answer is yeah, of course. But the reason that we have an RV, there's like 2 or 3 reasons. 1, I can work from it. It's my office. 2, we have kids and they have a stable environment every day that's home. And 3,
I have a stable environment.
Megan has a stable environment.
I like that too. That helps me. Like, I'm adventuresome, but I'm also like, I need a little bit of consistency for me to fare well.
Yeah.
I even have a little bit of a hard time
like,
adjusting to campgrounds
but
the
it's
first
awesome
couple days.
having your own kitchen every single day and waking up and having coffee. You're a coffee maker and all that stuff is great.
All of our space, it's like it feels comfortable.
Yeah, and can you really say that, like, when you get to a hotel room, you go, oh, you drop your stuff and you're like, oh, I'm so glad to be home.
Yeah.
You don't. That's not the way it feels. And well, it's not the way it feels for us.
I like my own sheets, my own towels, my own food,
no
my own
bed
stuff.
bugs, whatnot. Another question that we get asked a lot is, what are you going to do about school? That's easy.
Yeah, it's easy. We've been homeschooling since Hannah was in 1st grade. She's now going in 5th. Nora's going in 3rd, and Liam will be going in kindergarten. So we've already been doing this. We already know how to do it. We've already worked out a lot of the homeschooling kinks. We've already homeschooled from.
We even kind of know where all of our homeschool stuff is going to go in the camper.
Yeah. I already ordered all of our curriculum.
We were doing that this past year.
So that's something we have already been doing, which is again another reason why we knew we could go. We already have the homeschool element down.
Yep.
He works from the road, so.
So that life is. We
already
have a
our
pretty good
balance
rhythm
there.
on that.
Yeah, we've traveled and done homeschool already. So.
Yep. Where will you end up?
We plan to come back here.
We plan to come back home. I mean,
we aren't leaving here because we don't love it here. We do. We just want to go and see what's out there. We want to see and explore all these really amazing places too. But then our goal is to come back
and feel like we can do this as part of life.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. This is kind of a big experiment.
One of the hardest things too is to let go of our amazing community here. So we are hoping that they come visit us, right, guys? And we plan to come back and be with them again.
Yep, that's right. So that's it. That's that's kind of our story. And
if you have other questions that you want us to answer, you're welcome to put them in the comments or send us an email or whatever.
We can do more of these style videos if we can do it uninterrupted without the kids
that probably won't happen.
Interrupting.
Togetherness model. Remember?
Okay, so here's what you can expect to see from us now. We're going to be closing on the house at the end of the month. We're going to get started on this trip, and what you can expect to see in the coming weeks is going to be really stuff that has to do with like how we're getting on the road.
Right.
We'll do our best.
We've got a lot to do in 3 weeks.
A ton to do. YouTubing is really hard, actually. Like, you have to constantly be like filming stuff in order to vlog. But what you'll see for the next 3 weeks or so is going to be vlog style videos. Then you'll see our kind of inaugural like launch video. And then after that, but the best thing that you can do to stay updated is to sign up for our newsletter at hinson.co. That's Hinson with an I, not like Jim Henson. It's Hinson with an I, HINSON.co /newsletter. Or you can just go to hinson.co and click the newsletter icon on the top.
Yep. What you're going to see is basically we've chosen to document this journey because we recognize that for us this is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. And we know that documenting it through video and through writing will allow us to have forever memories, like have them in a place where we can access them later. We also want to share and inspire other people who are looking to just take advantage of their life and live it on purpose like we are. So what you're going to see is what we feel like is relevant content to that. Whatever is exciting adventures that we're on, things that we're learning, updates on how things are going. That's it. So any of that, if that's stuff you're interested in, then follow along. If that's stuff you want to see,
so but the best way to follow along, I mean, like if you do YouTube, then subscribe. Obviously, we'd love that. But if you just saw this video and you're interested, sign up for our newsletter. We try to send out a newsletter every month, and send updates about what we're doing. If we're reading books, then we're going to include that. If we're if we are digging some whatever we find that would be we think would be cool for others, that's what we're going to include in that, including the content that we're producing. So that's the best way to get everything, not just our YouTube videos. Right. Thank you so much once again.
Yes,
we are honored
honored.
that you'd watch us,
Yeah.
and with from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, and stay tuned.
Thanks.
This adventure is just beginning. This is just the beginning.
Woohoo!
We've only just begun to live. Okay. I wish I could turn the camera around because
Who is? Oh, I thought
Hannah
that
is
was
right
Nora.
here on the window, holding up her like assorted fruit
I will
snacks
say
that she wants
they're
to
waiting,
get.
which
They
is
are
good.
being very good. And then
There's only
Nora's
one pack,
over
so
here
no.
doing something.